Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Two Perfect Podcasts. My name is Yzel.
My name is Renz.
And we're not
Perfect! Two Perfect Podcast is dedicated to three things.
First, we are dedicated to sharing super personal stories and owning our imperfection.
Second, we want to create a safe space where we can be our most authentic selves.
And third, we want to build a community for people like us who are fed up with the pressure of trying to be perfect. And before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, follow. We're on YouTube, Two Perfect Podcast. You can find us on every podcast streaming platform. And also, you can email us, twoperfectpodcasts@gmail.com. Also, if you like the content, make sure you share it with your friends, your family. Let's talk about it. Let's unpack that. But today's episode is, of course, very special because it's our 21st episode. Woo!
She legal to drink.
Let's go. But yeah, 21. We did it. We did it. It's pretty exciting, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
21 episodes. And then I remember in the last episode, I was like, honestly, don't ask me when we started because I don't even know. And then I realized, dude, 420.
420, yeah. But I just meant, I can't math. I don't know.
No, I literally forgot that we started.
That we started at 420.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I was thinking about something.
Mm-hmm. Share.
I was thinking about Mr. Paulo's art history class.
Uh-huh.
Our AP art history class in high school, because, of course, I am one nostalgic biatch. And we had our final project.
Yeah.
And we had to create some sort of art piece. And I did a sketch of our whole class.
Yeah.
We took a class picture and I sketched it without any of the faces. And I remember going up in front of class and being so embarrassed to show my project.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was going after someone who did something that was just so magnificent.
I think it was probably Michelle.
And she did a fucking
the glass thing.
What is that called?
Mosaic.
Stained glass.
Yeah.
Bullshit fucking lamp.
It was so good.
It was beautiful and functional.
Mm-hmm,
Who the fuck does that? Get out of here with your
Michelle.
Professional ass looking lamp that would easily cost $500 or more.
I know, you could sell that on Etsy.
For sure.
It was so. I just remembered, we were all coming in, and I was just like, oh man, it's okay. Everyone's work is probably gonna be whatever, arts and craftsy. But no, she came in there, and I'm like, oh, I need that lamp.
She came in there and fucking trashed all of us. I don't remember anybody else. That was so impactful.
That was all you need.
That was so impactful.
Yeah.
That really was the show stealer that everybody else I can't remember. Obviously, I remember mine because I did it. I remember yours because I was literally right next to you.
I forgot about what I did until Debbie came in the picture and she reminded me. And I was like,
she reminded me of that memory she has of coming in and she's seeing you work on it.
Of course,
and then I was
minute stuff.
Oh yeah, I was there too.
Yeah. Literally, she gifted it to me back. And I'm like, oh, you're so right. Now that I remember it, we were outside the circle table. And we're just quick, last minute, you guys, last minute. Obviously, that's who I am.
Procrastination queen. The freaking feeling I had, I was like, I'm not even worthy to step in front of the class after she goes and shows her professionally done lamp that she personally did the stained glass and she broke it into these little pieces and conducted this beautiful mosaic that wrapped around the lamp. It was just so beautifully done.
Beautiful.
And then I'm like, I remember I came up in there and I'm like, yeah, mine's not that good.
And I remember Mr. Paulo
was so mad.
No!
Don't ever say that. I was like, yes, Mom.
Sorry.
Sorry for the low self-confidence. But yeah, so I just remember that feeling of, being shy and embarrassed about work that I created, but that was the same with like anything that I think it's also with, I never showed my drawings to people.
Yeah.
It took me a very long time to, even now,
find
actually,
comfort.
I don't find comfort in showing my drawings to people, but it's just now, I guess I'm older and I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. And now I'm gifting people like paintings and drawings that I did, and I see the appreciation that they have for it. So I feel like, okay,
it's
like
not as bad as it used to be.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So my fear is kind of subsided by that.
But it's still there.
Yeah. There's something so personal about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Right? Like, I don't know, comment below. Do you feel confident about sharing your artwork to other people? Like, what is that about? How do you feel about it? You know?
It's scary. Like, for me, I always still feel that way, even though I've been through a lot of like the art process where I have to share my artwork.
But how many art classes have you taken? You know
I know,
what I
but
mean?
Those are like, it's also different. There are art pieces that you do just for you, and you're like, oh my God, you can't, no one can ever see this. But then the ones that you do, like, it's an assignment.
Yeah.
And that one's, it's not as hard for me because it's like, I did it for this purpose. So it's a learning procedure. So yeah, we can talk about it. I can show it to you. But then like, when I'm making someone, even like the one I made you, I was just like, oh, I hope they like this. I hope this is good enough. It's just like that process. I think about it all the time. It's like, oh, please don't watch me do, especially the process part of it.
Yeah.
I think that's where I struggled the most in art school, and I had to get comfortable in doing so.
Because you're actually drawing and making stuff in class.
Yeah.
You know what? The only art class I've ever taken was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not participate. I did not do a lot of the class. I mean, I didn't really participate in school. I was a pretty bad student, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember using that class to just like mess around.
Yeah.
And anytime there was like an assignment you had to do, I literally waited till the last minute and just like put something together real quick. However, that was the time where I was drawing extensively. Like, that like elementary school, middle school, I drew a lot. I had
in your own personal time.
In my personal time, I had my sketchbooks. I was like sketching, but in my actual art class, I didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
And that's so weird because it's like, I love making art. I love art.
Yeah.
But the one chance that I had to actually do a class for it, I was just like, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I remember the first art class, like, the life skill drawing class where you're in a circle and you're actually like sketching, and like the professor will literally like walk around.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever did that was very like grueling for me because it was just like, oh my God. But then there's literally like no option. You literally can't just like,
you can't
not do it. Yeah. So that really helped for me.
Yeah.
To get comfortable with working in front of people. But when I am in like certain classes like in Cal City LA, where I know that I just felt like this is a very common feeling among the students. We would usually just use the class time to talk to each other and just maybe like do more like ideas together than actually like working. And I remember one of my classmates told me, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like I just get a lot more done when I'm by myself than like, So we usually just us together, we brainstorm, we think, and then we'll like talk about the art pieces, but we actually don't really work all together.
Yeah, they're all just kind of like, I'm not trying to show you my shit.
My process is ugly. Maybe that's what it is. The process is ugly.
And it's funny because I love watching TikToks and Instagram videos of people making art.
Yeah.
And the fact that people have the confidence.
Yeah.
Because there was a period where, remember, I was like, oh, maybe I'll upload my art videos, but it just felt so personal.
Yeah.
Like, I watched my art videos and I was like,
cringe.
I don't want to show, like, it just, I don't know. It's a different form of, like, being vulnerable to people. So it's very scary to be vulnerable. And maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. I think it's also like my issues, like, we joked about it the other day about like being perfect, like the perfectionism part of me. It's like I only show like final product stuff, or like products like, like this is acceptable. But if I show you like the whole process, then you're gonna see like the unacceptable part of it. I don't know.
Damn. This is what this is the premise of the podcast. Anytime that the premise of the podcast shows up, I'm literally like taken aback because I'm reminded, oh yeah, there's a point to this podcast. Yeah. It's not just us rambling. It's like the point is for us to own our imperfection and be like, hey, it's okay. And I wonder if people who post their art videos, if they have that fear too, and if they just got over it, or if it's just something that they're like, oh no, I don't really think about that, it's just like, it's cool. Like, I wonder what the experience is for everybody else. Comment below.
Follow this girl because I really like her journey. Like, she didn't just start when she started uploading her work. To me, I thought it's like, oh wow, she's so good. She must be so confident. So she probably doesn't know how I feel, like, the whole process. But like, eventually she posted a video, like, years later. She says like, everything is like growing. It's like there's growing pains. And we talked about that, like our last episode, where she said that she was also uncomfortable at the time, but she just posted anyway. And the community basically like helped her be okay with it.
People commenting and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's how she became better, because of shared information. And I just try to see it in that lens, and that's what kind of helped me, like, when I was posting like my process art, because I was like, okay, we could do this part at least. So that's what kind of helped me. I was just like, it's okay, you just have to start putting it out there
and just kind of go through their growing pains. It's like, instead of living in your head, you just have to live in the present and just like, just do. Don't think, just do.
Yeah.
I remember there was a point in time during the quarantine, Micah and I would talk about her love for singing, and she was convinced as a child that she was going to make it. Like, when she was in high school and whatnot, she really believed
she's going to be a star.
Yeah, that she was going to be a singer. And she is a very talented singer, incredible voice. And of course, I believe in her. I'm like, there's no reason for you not to keep pursuing that if that's actually what you want to do. And so there was a period in time during the quarantine where I was like, dude, just record videos, put it out there. That's such a great way that social media has allowed people to become or provide a opportunity to get a platform and get fans and stuff like that. Just do it. Just record videos. And she was so, it's like that feeling of like, I don't want to show my work.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know how to do that. And I was like, what do you mean? You do karaoke. You sing all the time. There's really not a difference. It's just there's a camera in front of you.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but I'm so nervous, and she's riddled with anxiety about it.
Yeah.
And, it's just interesting because where did that confidence go when you were so young? You truly, truly believed that you were going to make it. And she was singing all the time, and she even tried out, or she was like in bands and all of that. And yet you can't do this aspect of it. Where you just record a video of you singing and you just keep posting and posting and posting.
That's so interesting.
Like, what is that about?
Yeah.
Right? And when we were talking about it, she said that she came into this mindset of feeling like people don't like her. And if she puts it out there and they don't like it, it's not received well, then it is affirming the fact that people just don't like her. That's what she said.
Oh my god.
I know, right? Damn, I just unpacked that. Sorry. I might delete some stuff. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I guess that's also like a fear that I can relate to. Like, sometimes you talk you talk to yourself and you make yourself believe that you're unlikable, and for some odd reason, like, you just think like if you put something out there, this is gonna confirm that negative thoughts in your head, like, oh, I knew it, I was always right. But if I delay it, then it's
or don't do it at all.
It's safe. It's safe, you know?
That's what it is, safety.
Safety, yeah.
It's safety from judgment.
Yes. Which we got a lot. Maybe that's why we also can't
share.
My gosh! Because everything we've done has been so judged, and this is so personal to us. It's us expressing ourselves on paper. So to us, it's like, please, don't judge this one.
Oh my gosh. It's so weird because it's like, that's what it is. It's the fact that we've been judged, probably unfairly, and harshly throughout our lives as children, that we want to play it safe to avoid experiencing that again.
Yeah. Wow.
My inner child. Let's heal them. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Learning about us and learning about us. That's it.
I just am thinking, like, how can you get over that? Is that something you should get over? Well, yeah, I mean, you kind of have to get over it.
I mean, you don't have to, I guess.
You don't have to do
anything. You never have to do anything. But, this is the thing I talk to myself about, because, again, I kind of get stuck in that cycle of, like, getting scared of going after my dreams and stuff. But if you don't get over it, then you just kind of have to give up your dream, right? You just have to give up something. So it's really up to that person whether would you value that comfort more than going after
what
your goals and dreams, So that's really the negotiation.
Damn. That's crazy. Yeah, and then, again, it's like you can take your time with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no right deadlines. Way. Yeah, there's no deadline. There's no deadline. Mm-hmm. There's no deadline on your dreams. Mm-mm. So I think if you want to pursue something, and if you're too scared to do it, like, it's fine. You have your life to do it. But then also there's that feeling of, like, you don't know when your life is going to end.
I know.
That got dark. Always. But yeah, you really don't know how much time you really have in this world. Yeah. So it's like, you might as well just fucking go for it now.
Yeah. What I do is I just try to build little comforts, because, again, like, we're talking about, like, the reason why we get embarrassed or shy, mm-hmm. or, like, just neglected at all is because we choose the comfort. So to me, I try to find comfort in little things, mm-hmm. like the support of my friends, or I think to myself, like, again, when I first had that drawing class, it was very uncomfortable for me. But when I thought about it, it's like, you know what? This is going to make my art better. This mm-hmm. is going to move me to, like, the next step. Mm-hmm. And that thought alone, like, helped me through that hour, because that's all I had to go through at the time. It's like, mm-hmm. I just have to finish drawing class in this hour, and mm-hmm. I'll get better at the end of that, like a tiny percent better at the hour. Mm-hmm. So it helped me through it. So it's just, whatever that thing is holding you off, don't think about it in, like, the bigger picture, because it's very overwhelming. Just think about it in micro sense that will help you build up mm-hmm. to that moment of your dream.
So that's how you got comfortable with that drawing class?
Yeah, and every little thing I do in life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. 'Cause, like, what was it like going to that class and on a weekly basis and having to, I mean, you're drawing every class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what was that like at the beginning, and how could you compare and contrast to your feelings in that class at the end?
It was definitely rough. So the very, very, very first one, which is, like, almost 10 years ago at CC, it was actually my most unsuccessful one, because again, the anxiety and the fear made me not want to go to class. So it's a slippery slope where I'm talking about this. It's like, oh, I got it. I got over it so quick. But it wasn't. To tell you the truth, I ended up dropping the class eventually because it was so overwhelming.
Really?
The very first time. Yeah. So I probably went to class the first couple days, and that was like a little bit doable. And then eventually, like depression or whatever, something would kick in that would make me not want to go to class, which would put you behind because it's one of those classes that meets like once a week or like whatever, right?
Yeah.
So eventually that happens where it's just like too much for me and I just like dropped it. But, moving forward, because obviously you can't escape it.
Yeah.
You can't escape it if that's what you want to do with your life. So the next class that I took was better because, again, it was just something that you just have to get used to. So don't beat yourself up for not pulling through, but definitely keep going.
So now, do you think like if we signed up for just a random like drawing class, you'd be like, how would you compare your feelings about that to what it was like back then?
I think I try not to think about myself when I'm in the class. It almost feels like meditating because usually there's something you have to do. Usually there's like a person coming in and then you have to draw them or something. So I always just like don't think about what's going on around you. I literally have to pull myself in and then I just focus on the drawing. So to me it's just this and that. That's the only thing that exists. So I think it's doable for me now. I could do it.
You don't have any negative feelings about it anymore? Or nervous feelings?
I think I still get slightly nervous, but I think I'm just a very anxious person in general. But in comparison to my first art class and in comparison to the last art class I took, it's vastly different because I probably only missed like one class in my drawing class for the last one that I did, whereas like the first class that I did, I like completely dropped it eventually. So to me, it's just like I think there's some growth that happened there. I don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure a lot of it was just like I was going through a lot the very first time I did the art class, and anything that would take me out of my comfort zone was just too much. So I didn't want to push myself. But now it's like I don't feel that I'm putting myself in that awkward position. Like sometimes, when the professor passes by, I feel it slightly again, and I just have to refocus myself into like, it's okay. Just draw. Just keep drawing. It's normal.
Wow, I think, that deserves a lot of kudos. That deserves a lot of praise. Your ability to, you gave up basically in that first class that you dropped, and then pulling yourself together eventually and like basically talking yourself up, and that shows a lot of growth. That shows a lot of persistence, and you got to give yourself a good pat on the back. Give yourself some praise.
But we should do that, though. We should sign up for an art class.
I know!
That sounds so fun.
That'd be so fun. I know.
Yeah, and it's something that you do have to keep, like, practicing. And it's always better. Because, like, I want to get better in, like, anatomy and life drawing. And honestly, the only way to do that is to draw real people and to get feedback from someone who has the eyes. Because honestly, I do some figure drawings by myself. But then you look at it and you're like, something's wrong.
Something's off. Something's missing.
And you're just like, because you don't have the knowledge.
Yeah, you don't know how to fix it.
Yeah. Whereas like my professor will literally like, oh, like you see this? There's an actual like remember there's a bone there, so it would actually look like this more. And then you're like, oh wow. And then when you go through your old sketchbooks, which I just did that yesterday. I was like, from the beginning of the last art class that I took into the end of the last art class, and you just see like the progress of like
that's so
how
cool.
I did the bodies. I was just like, wow, I learned something.
Yeah.
Do I still know it? We'll see.
That's so interesting. I started with drawing my face. I got really good at drawing my face because I spent a lot of time, like as a kid, sitting in front of a mirror and just drawing my face.
Yeah.
And there was a point in time where, I actually got pretty freaking good at it. And then eventually I stopped drawing.
Yeah.
And so now if I try to do it, it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's one of those where really, like, if you don't lose it, I mean, if you don't lose it, you don't use it. I mean, obviously, because you just lost it. If you don't use it, then you lose it. It's one of those things. So it'd be really cool to do an art class. Imagine us in the art class, we're both like, don't look, I'm not done. Which is definitely like the sentiment.
Yeah.
That's the sentiment that we want to talk about. So if you're a creative and you either it's like, your profession or you are just, it's a hobby.
It makes your life full.
Like, what's your process? Like, do you also have that feeling of like, don't look at my work right now because it's not done? Are you embarrassed about it? Are you shy? Like, what's your deal? I want to know.
I do too. And if you don't feel shy, what's also your deal?
I know. What is that about? How come you have so much confidence, huh?
I love it.
I want to steal it.
I want it.
Give it to me. Yeah. I honestly would give some of my credit to getting back into art to Debbie. You know? She just... It kind of surprised me when she first came back from the Navy and like we hung out and she just showed me like her work and her drawing and her paintings and just how often she would. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
Why don't I do that? That was something that I truly loved and enjoyed and felt good about. And yeah, so kudos to her. Shout out to you if you're listening to this or watching this.
Can hear us outside.
Yeah, she's literally in the other room. I could tell her this to her face, but I feel like because of that, there's a comfort with me. Like if I'm drawing in front of her, painting in front of her, like it's fine. But there are certain people that I can't do it in front of, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like it's still not the longest time because it's still like concurrently, like it's still like, I don't know why, every time Jackie's around, I cannot. Like, I cannot, like, I could do like schoolwork, but I also can't show him. He's like, I have to be like, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, just stuff.
Moving the computer. Like, nothing.
Just like
watching porn.
Yes, it's good porn.
Don't look at it. It's only for me.
So I don't know what that's about.
That's so weird because it's Jackie.
He doesn't care. He's supportive. He's
it's Jackie.
Nice. I don't know what that means, but nice.
Yeah, like that's so weird. Why do you think? Let's unpack that. Why do you feel that about Jackie specifically? Like this is the person you have the most intimate relationship with.
I know he like knows everything about me, but
this is the person you're most vulnerable with. So it's like you're vulnerable in all these other aspects. So why is it that this one you can't?
I don't know. Probably I just lump sum him with like the rest of my family. Maybe he's like family now and family. You can't see this. Because I also probably can't do it in front of my parents. I haven't done it because like it hasn't presented to me. But yeah.
You've never drawn anything or made anything for your parents?
Not in the longest time. Yeah. The only time I've made something was for my sister, and that one's like a little bit more doable. But
yeah,
I don't know why.
Why is that? Someone tell us the answer. Why can't you draw or create in front of Jackie or your parents?
I don't know. I've asked myself that a couple times, and it's, like, as I was analyzing myself because, I went through a period of like not drawing, and the reason was because me and Jackie spent a lot of time together. So if we were spending a lot of time together and I'm uncomfortable with like drawing right in front of him, there's literally no time to draw. So I talked to myself about it a couple times, and I don't know.
Because that might just take you to the next level. If you get over that fear and then you start feeling more comfortable drawing and creating around him, then it's like when he's around and you're drawing, like it's no big deal, then maybe you draw and create more often.
I know.
And then you just take yourself to the next level. Because again, it's like practice
exactly
makes
the
permanent.
thought I had to myself, but no, zero follow through. Sorry, guys.
No, but it's so interesting that you can't, or that it feels... I mean, there's no such thing as can't.
Yeah.
Because you can, but it's just uncomfortable. So it's like, why is that uncomfortable?
Because I can never truly be vulnerable with him. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
It's so hard. It's so hard for me to be completely vulnerable with anyone.
Why?
I don't know. Why is that?
Why is it so difficult to be... I mean, that's essentially what the episode is about. First, we just wanted to talk about, like, why do creatives hide their work? Like us, like, why are we embarrassed to show our work or show our process in creating our art?
Yeah.
But now it's like...
It's really just pushing into that realm of vulnerability.
What?
Yeah.
God damn. Okay. Why are we afraid to be vulnerable? Because it opens us up for hurt.
Ooh.
It's like a protection, like a sense of protecting ourselves from judgment, or... I wonder what that has to do. I'm sure it's like more person to person, but I think there's like a way to generalize it where typically that's what's happening.
When people can like, oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Let me think about it in terms of me. Maybe that'll help. Like, why am I scared to be vulnerable? I think doing this podcast has really helped me with becoming, obviously. So we're unpacking so much shit on this podcast that I feel, but I feel the growth, which is why I love doing this. But I remember in the beginning being pretty scared of like, and because again, it's that vulnerability aspect. But why the hell are we scared of it in the first place? Somebody answer, comment, email. Why are we scared to be vulnerable?
Because maybe that'll help us understand the answer to this question, because I'm having a hard time. I feel like I saw something online that kind of
resonated with you.
Yeah, that kind of helps pinpoint the answer to it, but I'm having a hard time remembering, and I don't want to just like spew out like the bits and pieces, because then it's like, what are you talking about? I don't know.
For some reason, I just remembered all the times in high school I did this a lot. I would finish people's sentences. Like, I do it a lot. Like, right now, I just did it, like, a couple times. But it just reminded me, like, I know, fucking random, but that's my brain. Where I used to do that a lot. Like, I used to be more blunt about it. I would just finish someone's sentences. Now I'm a little bit more patient of, like, let them say what they want to say, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, sidetrack. Why am I afraid to be vulnerable? Why are you afraid to be vulnerable? Riddle me that. I guess it's just fear. I mean, that's literally what it is, right? You're like scared of something. It feels uncomfortable because maybe it goes back to you being that shy kid.
Yeah.
Right? Because you were timid and shy and you didn't want to talk to the other kids. For what reason?
I was afraid
of
that they won't like me, I could think. It was just a lot. It just felt like a lot.
Maybe that's what it is.
Circling back to it, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you are uncomfortable with the idea of showing this vulnerable part with Jackie because maybe you feel like he won't like it and he won't like you.
Yeah, like the real me. The real me.
Yeah, even though you know that that's crazy, but
yeah.
You know, honestly, it can happen at any time. Like I remember seeing a post of like a comic strip, I think, and it's a couple. We've probably sent it to each other, but it's like this girl asking her boyfriend continuously, like, "Do you like me?
Yeah.
Do you like me?" And
yeah,
it's like they're married. Yeah, they're like, "Do you like me?" And it's like I think they're like buried already, like they're dead, and it's like a bubble. It's like, "Do you like me?" Yeah. They're like buried next to each other. It's like
no.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we do know that at any point in time, someone could stop liking you.
Yeah.
And we're always kind of on the fence of like, maybe they don't like me anymore. Maybe, is this it? Is this the part where they stop liking me?
It's funny because I just made that joke last night to Jackie.
What? What did you say?
Because I forgot the conversation we were having. Oh, I was rubbing his tummy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, that feels good." And I was like, "Is it making you want to fart?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, thank God." And he was just like, "What do you mean, thank God?" And then I was just like, "Oh, because like, you know, if you farted, like..." So he said something, it became like a joke, and I was like, "Oh, dude, like, this is it. This is the last straw.
This is the last straw. I'm done with you. I don't like you anymore.
I can't anymore." And then he was just like, "What do you mean? Like, I've talked about this so many times, like poop and fart." And then I'm just like, "Yeah, this is it. This is the last.
This is the straw that broke the camel's back."
Yep.
Oh my! Here I go with the sayings again.
I said that too yesterday.
Dude.
So I was just like, yeah, maybe that's just how my brain works. Like any given moment of time, you could just fall out of love and
not like
yeah.
That's been your fear since day one. Is they won't like me. And that's where all your fear and anxiety stems from.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So it's like the real important people, it's like I can't let them know.
That's why you keep it guarded. That's like the last thing like you keep to yourself. Like this is a piece of me that I won't share for fear that what if this piece is the thing that
it's the one
it's gonna make them stop liking me.
And it's the most important one. So it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Wow. Wow.
Oh my God, that hit.
Wow.
I have chills.
Wow.
What? Maybe it's the caffeine though. Yeah. But what is your mindset on that? Is that something you want now that we've kind of figured it out in the span of like 10 minutes?
We don't need the answers anymore, you guys.
After 10 years of being together, don't comment below, don't email. We don't need it. But, now after 10 years of realizing like that's something that you haven't been able to do with him, like, do you feel like that's something you want to try out? Or you should have this conversation with Jackie.
Nah.
I'm going to have the conversation with Jackie.
Just put on the podcast, dude.
Jackie, respond. Yeah.
I mean, it's something that I used to try and slowly do because, like, again, I try to tell my
little
I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it before, and you also just said this earlier, where it's like this could literally be like the next step for me because if I can get over drawing in front of Jackie, then I can draw like and 24/7.
It'll take you to the next level. Yeah.
Hopefully.
You get worse. You resort back to stick figures.
And that's the reason why it's like, see, this is why I don't draw in front of people.
It's your fault. It looks like shit. It's because you were staring at it.
TBD. So that's something I used to do, but then again, it's like no one is making me draw anymore, so it just always just kind of like fall. Like there's no consistency.
You don't have an assignment.
Exactly. It's not like my art class who I literally have to be there for 2 times a week, and it builds up to the point where it's okay, you grow. Whereas with this, it's like, oh, it could be, I could just do it later. Like there's no structure, so my mind is so lax about it. But maybe I should just give myself like workshops to be like, all right, draw in front of Jackie for like an hour, draw 15 minutes, like little doodles. Because I used to do that. I used to just doodle around.
You should get a screen protector, one of those that like you put on the computer screen. So, like,
where you can't see.
You can't see it unless you're like directly in front of it. But then your blind ass is gonna be like.
Facts.
I know. So for me, I said in the last podcast I've been writing extensively, and the only reason I've been able to do that is because I have a writing journal, and there are prompts in the journal. Yeah. So it tells me like write a short story about, what I just did was like write a short story about a piano bar, and it gives words, like you have to include these words,
this and this
and this into the story. I was about to say the story, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
But why are you scared, bitch?
You already know. And then I have one that is online. There's a writing prompts website, so they generate like a new prompt every day, and so I'll go over there and I'll look at the prompt and I'll write like a couple paragraphs or like just a short story about whatever the prompt is.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like they have competitions like with prize money, so like you can submit a story, and if they like it, then you win. And in my mind I was like, I don't want to do that. What if they steal the idea? And it's like, bitch, no one's gonna steal your whack ass idea. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. But I think I was just saying that because I'm just scared.
Yeah, it's comfort. It's easier to think that way than to admit to yourself that,
no, you a scared little baby. Yeah. But maybe I will. Yeah. Maybe I will submit it. I mean, I don't think I'll win, but it's just...
It's the baby steps.
It's just the fact that you can do it. It's like you put yourself out there, and that's how you get to... Because, I do want to write books. I want to write, and I want to write screenplays. Yeah. And so it's like... How am I going to do that if I can't even do a little competition? You know what I mean? For other people to read. So it's like...
And I'm sure that's probably what they're trying to do too, to encourage people to, obviously, to also give back, but also to empower people. Like, oh, wow. Because, when you win something, and even if you don't win something, it's that fact of like, you have this under your belt now.
It's something you've done.
Yeah.
And when you do something, it's kind of like... It's a step above, and then you can accomplish more.
Exactly.
Right? It's like step by step by step. At least that's how it feels in my mind. Yeah.
Which is also like a thing that you could say, it's like, well, what are your experiences? And it's like, I don't have a lot, but I've done this and this and this. It really builds up your skill. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So... Yeah, now we have 2 tasks. I have to submit for the competition, and then you have to talk to Jackie and draw in front of Jackie.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if Jackie's just like eating, like sitting right there, and you just like go in front of him, you turn around. He's like, you're blocking the TV.
This is important right now.
I know. Can you move? You're blocking the TV, and you're like, no, this is important. I need this.
We need this.
We need this. Yeah. Wow. Learning so much.
I know, right? Wow.
I feel good.
Me too.
It's the caffeine.
You know how I don't really let myself have caffeine.
I know. We're like, party! Yeah. But do you have any final notes about this topic? Any suggestions, tips, anecdotes?
It's okay to be vulnerable.
That made me scared. Really?
Yeah. That's basically it. It's okay to be vulnerable. Just keep at it.
Being vulnerable and getting through your fears, that's what you have to do to get what you really want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're too scared to do something, maybe you should judge how bad you really want that thing.
Yeah.
Because you probably just don't want it bad enough.
Yeah. And nothing is too scary, to be honest. I feel like when you don't try something,
mm-hmm.
the fear is so much larger than the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, like, no one's really judging you like that. People will still love you if
mm-hmm.
you have the same type of rooted fear as me or whatnot. And you only get better from that point. So it's okay.
And that's on period. That's me trying to be relatable to the youngins.
Is that still what they're saying though?
I know, right?
Bitch, they might have moved on.
Get your old ass out of here, okay? Honestly, I'm editing that out. So, but that's pretty much what we have for this episode. We hope it gave you some insight because we got pretty vulnerable. So hopefully it helps you. If it doesn't help you, damn it sure as hell helped us. No, ain't no sorry. We are being our most authentic self, unapologetically. Which I think is really cool. I just saw an ad for Masterclass. Have you heard of Masterclass? I know I'm trying to end it, but I just want to leave this in. Masterclass, have you heard about it? It's like
it sounds familiar, but
it's like a website where you can take master classes, but taught by actual masters. So like Anna Wintour, she is doing a class about, I believe, like business and fashion, because it's fucking Anna Wintour. And in her ad, in her clip, she talked about like, you want to basically own your sense of self and be unapologetic about it. And that's how you become a boss ass bitch.
Boss ass bitch.
No apologies. That's it.
Be a boss ass bitch.
Peace out. See you next Tuesday. Love yourself. Be authentic. Be genuine. Send this to your friends and family. All right, bye.